Chinese state-owned car companies are venturing further and further into premium territory, but they tend to always leave something out. So the question is, has the Voyah Zhuiguang hit the jackpot, or are they still chasing that elusive light? Let's find out. That's right, this is the Voyah Zhuiguang, or Chasing Light as it's known in English. It's the third car from the Voyah brand after the Free SUV and the Dreamer MPV, and it's a full-size battery electric sedan, which means it's going head-to-head with the Neo ET7. Therefore, it does have some pretty big shoes to fill. The question is, can it do so? Well, starting with the design, personally, I think the best parts of this car are inside. The design probably the weakest part. I don't think it looks quite as stylish as the ET7. It's got quite a bulbous front end. It's got quite a pudgy face actually. It's a bit squinty. Looks a bit like an owl from the front in my opinion. But it does have some nice design features anyway. We have this sort of Voyah logo shaped indentation on the bonnet there. That looks quite cool. That's become a bit of a staple of Voyah design. We've got fairly sleek headlamps with a full width daytime running light across there. Either side of course, a lit up Voyah badge. For the first time in a Voyah, we don't have a grille. So the previous two cars both had the option of an engine inside there. This is full battery electric, so we don't have that. Therefore, they've closed the grille off. We've got a little bit of chrome down here towards the bottom around these aerodynamic indentations that go around the wheel. So I'm going to take you to the wheel to show you that. These are 20-inch alloy wheels. This is of course an aero design, designed for aerodynamics. Got to say, not a big fan of this, not least because it's the same colour as the body. And you can get this car in a burnt orange colour, which means that you also get burnt orange wheels. Not sure I want that. However, this is the only design you can get as far as I can see. So seems like you're stuck with it. Anyway, they're okay. We get chrome, of course, down the side here, sort of a step down in the door. We've got pinched sides there just at the bottom to make it look a little bit more sporty, a little bit more lithe. We've got pop-out door handles here, and then we come towards the rear end, which is where I think this design starts to fall apart slightly. It doesn't feel quite as sleek as some of the other cars on the market, but I do like the fact that we've got some chunky haunches here. They're okay. So let's take a look at the back of the car. At the rear, we do get this fastback profile, the same kind that you'll find on a Neo ET7 or a Model S. So it does look fairly sleek. We also get on this car an active rear spoiler. I've got it manually set to stick out at the moment. However, you can set what speeds you want it to open up at, which is quite cool as well. Of course, we've got a full width daytime running light. It's China. We've got the same Voyah logo shaped details in the rear lamps there that are quite cool, and the Voyah logo lights up here as well. Now, apparently, we also have a kicker opening boot, but I haven't managed to get that to work, so I have to do it with the key. So I'll do that. There you go. In here we have 410 litres of space. It is a pretty large boot. It's got a good sized opening, which is quite nice. We've also got a DIN audio bass unit in there. The seats don't fold flat, but there is a hatch through the middle, so there's some element of practicality there. And it's electric, of course, which is quite cool as well. I don't think it's quite as resolved at the back as some of those other cars, and this looks, I don't know, slightly odd, but it's all right, it's fairly cool. But let's check out the inside. Now, as I mentioned outside, the interior of the Zhuiguang is probably the best place to be because there's a lot going on in here, so please bear with me. There's a lot to talk about. Start with the most basic thing, hexagonal steering wheel. Very, very quirky. No less difficult to hold. Does look quite cool. Downside is capacitive touch on the steering. We don't like that. Please give us some physical buttons, Voyah. We like the physical buttons. It is manually adjustable for reach and rake. It's probably the only manual thing in the car, apart from the stalks, because everything else is electric. And all of that starts in our multi-screen setup. You know that Voyah tend to have 3 screens in their cars, but we've got actually more in this one. The one ahead of us is well, they're all about 12 inches actually. They call it a 1.4 meter screen. In reality, it's 3 separate screens. The one in front of us is our driving functions. So you get your speed, your ADAS, your range, your driving mode, and the temperature, things like that in there. In the middle here, you get things like your maps. If you go on the home page, you get your maps, get all of your driving functions in there, 360-degree camera. And of course, you can also go into your apps as well and choose different apps in there. Interestingly, on this, we have gesture control. So if I do this, you can start the music. And then you can stop it again. That's pretty funky. Over here on the third screen, you have all of the kind of entertainment functions you can get on there. Let's put it on the home page. There you get your music, video, you can also do KTV, karaoke, you can do video games on there as well. And of course you can use the in-car cameras to take cameras. You've even got selfie filters and stuff in here. It's really quite funky. If you want to switch those around on certain apps, you can do so. So I'll go into the video app here and I'll switch those across, you see, with that button there. If I don't want that screen on, I can press this here and turn that screen off. I can see it while they're driving though. So if they have a video while we're driving, we can see it. That's a bit weird. But that's our triple screen setup. That's very cool. We also, on this, for the first time in a Voyah, get a fourth screen down here. And there's quite a lot of functionality in here. You've got all of your air conditioning functions in here, all of your ventilation, so you can adjust that in the front and the back. You've also got heating on your steering wheel as well, which is cool. You've got your seat adjustments, so you can move your seats forward and backwards here for the front and passenger driver as well. You can also do your heating, ventilation and massage down there at the bottom, different massage functions. On the right hand side here, you can adjust your lights, decide which lights you want on. You can adjust your mirrors, or you can adjust the ride height of the car. You can also go in here and adjust the sun blinds on the top of the car, so you can open those and close those. You can also in here adjust your rear spoiler. So there's a rear spoiler on the back. You can turn it closed permanently, you can open it permanently, or you can set which speeds you want it to come on or not. If you put it in sport mode, you can also set it there as well. So a lot of cool things in here. Of course, you can open the trunk in there as well, and you can open the charging port. So a lot of useful features taken that are normally in here, moved into this screen, which I do like. Two buttons down here to switch your modes, that one down there, and also the parking button here. Parking isn't working on our car at the moment. As well as that, we do get a heads-up display as well. Now, what I would say is it's not that bright, and it's supposed to adjust to your eye line. You can actually adjust it yourself manually in there, but currently it doesn't quite sit at my eye line. But again, another cool feature up there. Material quality in this car is also very, very premium. So we get a lot of this Dynamica microfiber material here on the dashboard, all across these beautifully quilted chairs. You get a bit in the doors, and of course you get some pale blue microfiber lining here around the top of the car. Really feels very cool and premium. And other than that, you get, I don't think it's real leather, but it's probably some kind of eco-friendly, usually Ercotex in Voyahs. So very soft materials also down here, even inside the pockets, which we really, really like. So it does feel super premium. You get quite a cool drive selector here, which lights up at night. That looks very funky. And we get a 50-watt fast charger, wireless phone charger here, also with ventilation underneath, so your phone doesn't overheat. That's brilliant. And we get space down here under the dashboard with a USB-C and a USB socket. We get a 14 speaker DIN audio system in this one. You either get 10 on the base version or you get 14 on the two higher versions. So we've got two speakers here in the door, got tweeters up there in the A-pillar, and we've got one here on top of the dashboard and a couple in the back as well. Get a big space in here, quite a useful square space in there. So there's a lot going on. Oh, also these things, these are quite cool. Look at these sun visors that you can actually see through. You don't see those in many cars, do you? We also get first class style headrests that fold out at the edge, so you can adjust that and get very comfortable here, because of course some people like to sleep in their cars as well. And they've even given us room for a glove box, which we do love, and capacitive touch in the doors. In the back, we also get a few treats, so let's go and have a look in there. All right, so here in the back, it's every bit as luxurious and comfortable as in the front. All of those same soft touch materials, loads of space. I mean, look at the size of the space here. For my knees, my feet have got loads of room, my head's got loads of room, and I've also got full thigh support from this rear bench, which you don't get in all battery electric saloons. We've also got a few more features built in. They're hidden in this armrest. So in the middle here, we have a 6 or 7 inch screen. You can click on that and unlock it. In here, we can adjust our third zone climate control for the back. You can also put your heating, ventilation and massage on for both of these back two seats here. And if I click on this button here, you'll see the passenger seat in front of me slides forwards, and in a moment my leg rest will come out from below me to give me a bit of extra support. We're already in the most laid back position on the backrest, and this allows me to just chill out in the back of the car, which is quite cool. Press both of these buttons to bring them back to their original settings again. And if I want to put my backrest back into the lower setting, I can just drag it like that. You can adjust the backrest on both of these, but on this side gets a leg rest. On here, we can also adjust and close our sun blinds as well. We've also got cup holders built in here, pair of cup holders there. Also got a decent sized pocket in here with USB and USB-C. And we've got a hatch there through to the back So yeah, very luxurious, very comfortable, lovely place to be, brilliant back seat. But how is the car to drive? Let's go and find out. Out on the road, the Zhuiguang is as luxurious and as comfortable to drive as you would expect from a car with an interior this opulent. It really is very, very pleasant. It's just totally effortless, really smooth. That's partly because on the version that we have the ultimate version. It's the middle one in the range. That means that we get all of the luxuries of the top flagship edition, but we get the smaller battery. So included in that is continuous damping control and air suspension, which honestly, I feel like I've said a lot recently. It's amazing how much luxury you get on Chinese premium cars these days. They all come with these really high-end things. But that suspension is just very, very comfortable. It's soaked up absolutely everything. I haven't found a road yet that has upset it. You just glide along, totally effortless. It's really, really lovely. Of course, it's a Chinese car, so we get fairly light steering, but it's fine. It's got a reasonable amount of feel, and it's no more light than any other cars. Of course, it firms up a little bit as well when you put it into sport mode. You get 5 modes on this car. You get Eco, Comfort, Sport, Snow, and Individual, in case you want to change it up yourself a little bit, which is also really cool. Part of that effortlessness also comes down to the fact that we have quite a bit of power on tap as well. So we do have twin motors on every version, 160 kilowatts on the front, 215 on the back, 375 in total, 503 horsepower, 730 Newton meters of torque. It is blisteringly quick. It's less power than an ET7, but it will equal the ET7's 0 to 62 miles per hour or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of 3.8 seconds. It's absolutely rapid and you feel it. It's a right shove in the derriere. It's very, very good. If you get the larger battery, by the way, that does go down to 4.2 seconds, but 3.8, super rapid. Absolutely love that. On the battery front, you do get 2 choices of battery in this car. The smaller battery, which is the one that we have, is 86.1 kilowatt hours. Apparently that's a semi-solid state battery, which is very interesting. And that will give you a 580 kilometer range on the CLTC cycle, which is about 60 more than you'll get in the 75 kilowatt hour version of the Neo ET7. That's quite impressive actually, especially considering how disappointing the Dreamer was on range. They've really stepped things up in the Zhuiguang. Now the larger battery, which apparently is a mica battery, I have no idea what that means, that is a 108.7 kilowatt hours, and that will do 730 kilometers of range. Again, very, very impressive on the CLTC cycle. This car also supports 400 volt fast charging, which is great because that means that you can charge the smaller battery from 20 to 80% in just 31 minutes, and for the larger battery that's 47 minutes, which again, very impressive. Not quite 800 volt, but nevertheless still pretty good. Now this car is also very, very stable. So we talked about the spoiler earlier. That adds 40 kilograms of downforce at high speed. I don't know how spirited Voyah believes that their drivers are going to be driving, but it is good to know that you will have that extra support if you do have to make any quick high-speed maneuvers. We've also got a 0.22 drag coefficient, which is a little bit more than the ET7, but nevertheless still very slick. We've also got a very short braking distance of just 33.8 meters from 100 kilometers down to 0. So again, something else really impressive there, and a turning radius of just 6 meters. So for a car of this size, it is surprisingly agile. As I mentioned, it is quite a large car, not quite as big as the ET7 in most areas. So it's just over 5 meters long, about 5.087 meters long. It is 1.97 meters wide, so slightly narrower than the ET7, 1.515 meters tall, so about a centimeter taller than the ET7, and has a wheelbase of 3 meters exactly, so about 6 centimeters shorter than the ET7. So it is a big car, but it doesn't really feel like it, to be honest. It's just very, very easy to drive. The visibility is excellent all around. The rear window is actually pretty decent as well. It's very easy to place on the road. We've got 360-degree cameras on there, which also help when you're in car parks and things. So it's very, very good in that respect. In terms of the prices, we have, this is actually where it gets quite impressive, starts at just 322,900 RMB. That is impressive. That's a long way cheaper than the cheapest Neo ET7. And for that, you'll get the smaller battery. You'll get a few less features in there, like a smaller speaker system, for example. But the most expensive version, which is the flagship version with the long-range battery, is 432,900 RMB, which again still comes in significantly short of the ET7. And considering what you get with that, that is incredibly impressive. This is a really, really luxurious car at an incredibly discount price. Very, very impressed with the Zhuiguang. We also, as I mentioned, we do get autonomous driving assistance as well. So we get lane keeping assist. We also get the overtake function. What we don't get, so I think it's level 2, might be level 2.5 ADAS system. Currently on our car, it's not reading the lines. So it won't do the staying between the lanes. It won't do the overtaking. You'll have to take over manually to do that. And also the parking function is not available either, which will drive into parking spaces by yourself. But other than that, it's all very, very good. I think that function just isn't turned on. But it's an excellent car. It really is. I absolutely love driving it. It's so pleasant. And I think anybody who gets hold of one of these and just wants to cruise around, they're just going to be so comfortable. And they're just going to get so much tech. Of course, you get your gesture control, get all these screens. Great for passengers as well. Yeah, super, really super car. So that's the end of our review. Have Voyah hit the jackpot with the Zhuiguang? Absolutely, they have. What a brilliant car this is. Incredibly surprising from a state-owned manufacturer to have a car this good. The interior is such a lovely place to be. Also full of tech, full of connectivity. It's an excellent car, very comfortable. The air suspension gives it a brilliant ride. The motors give it excellent drivability. The range is also excellent, and the price is brilliant as well. I would say maybe the only thing that lets it down is it doesn't look quite as sleek as some of the other cars on the market, but that's my personal opinion. I think it's a brilliant car. Very, very pleased that Voyah are doing so well with this car, and it does deserve to be a success. So thank you for watching. If you do, thank you for subscribing, and we'll catch you next time.